Hello, everybody. This is Joseph Fosco. Today is Monday, July the 15th, and we're bringing you our weekly sports podcast. I have with us today Mr. Michael Magnafichi.
Good afternoon, everybody.
And, of course, Mr. Frank Coconate.
How are you?
I'm good. And you, sir?
Going along.
Good, good. All right. So, before we start the show, I just wanted to address the audience out there. Those of you that were with us last week probably remember there was a little tension between Michael and Frank, and I just want everyone to know that everything seems to be completely ironed out, and we're here to do the show as I previously indicated.
Completely ironed out.
Completely.
With a few wrinkles, would you say? Or?
Well, I think it's ironed out. A few wrinkles, but
You forgive, but you don't forget.
well, we're here to do the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right, I think we were going to start with some golf.
Yeah, it was an interesting week in golf. You had the John Deere Classic out in Silva, Illinois, and you had a 19-year-old kid win the tournament in a three-way playoff. He beat Zach Johnson, who was last year's winner, and George Spears. He's a 19-year-old kid. He's got great prospects. 19 years old, first kid in 81 years, teenager.
Where was this John Deere played in?
It was played at, I have it right here, it was played at Silva, Illinois at the TPC golf course.
In Illinois?
Yeah.
Was Tiger Woods in it? Or?
No, it's a PGA tournament, but most of the guys, the big names, are already out in England.
Right.
They're out there getting ready for the British Open at Muirfield.
Right.
And these guys played it. Zach Johnson, he's a major winner. He won several years ago. But this is his, he's from Iowa, and this is kind of like a hometown. He's only 90 miles away from this. And he's won the tournament last year. He took a second in it the year before, so this is kind of very special to him. And he was in the playoff. He almost chipped it in on the second playoff hole. It hit the pin and lipped out. He would have won it then. But this kid, George Spears, he chipped in on the 18th hole just to get into the playoff. And it was really kind of a lucky chip. He hit it almost a foot up high in the pin, and it just dropped straight down. Went straight down into the cup, and he got into it. And the poise of this 19-year-old kid, I just can't believe. I mean, even Woods didn't win a tournament as a teenager. He didn't win a professional tournament as a teenager. This kid has got all the stuff in the world.
19 years old.
19 years old, three-way playoff. It went 5 holes, and he, outstood the guys and won his first tournament. And that gives him, now he gets a berth into the British Open this week, which he didn't have before this tournament. And then he gets into the Masters. So, I mean, he's placed in top 10 5 out of the 10 tournaments he's placed in so far as a pro.
Mm-hmm.
And plus he picks up $1.3 million, which isn't too bad for a 19-year-old to have.
Nice.
So it was an interesting tournament. Also, I was very in tune to the Scottish Open, which is out in England, in the Wild Kingdom, and Mickelson was one of the few big names that
played. The Wild Kingdom or the United Kingdom?
Well, I call it the Wild Kingdom because they're all nuts out there. I know it's the United Kingdom, but I call it the Wild Kingdom.
The Wild Kingdom. Because
they're all crazy out there.
Yeah.
But he played very well. He also won in a playoff. He won the Scottish Open in a playoff. It's a tune-up for the British Open. A lot of the guys don't play the week before the British. They go out there, they practice, they get into it. Mickelson likes to play in the tournament. He likes to get, acclimate himself to the weather. Because the weather's way different than here. It's 50 degrees, it's windier, damp, rainy. It's a links golf course, which is way different than what you play here. You play lush, plush, but, bent grass fairways, bluegrass fairways out there. It's all burnt out. You got the rough is this high. It's 10 inches high, 12 inches high.
Right.
It's unbelievable. You get it off, everything it slopes all over the place. The bunkers, they're like gigantic thimbles because they don't go, like on 30-degree or 45-degree angles. They go 90-degree angles up. You hit it. Sometimes you got to chip it back into the bunker just to get it out of the bunker.
Right.
So it's very driving, keeping it in the fairway.
It's not well kept.
Well, that's where golf was invented.
That's the gimmick, right.
That's where golf was invented, in Scotland, out that way, and it's going to be an interesting tournament. They got Woods at a 10-1 favorite. They got Mickelson at 15-1 after he won this, and then down the line all the odds and you could bet golf out there. It's legal. You could bet golf out there, and it's a big thing. betting golf and soccer out there is as big as football is over here.
Right,
In Vegas
sure,
and stuff,
sure.
and then in the States with, local bookmakers and
Sure.
stuff. And then the Senior Open I watched because a lot of these guys, they're my age. I watched Kenny Perry, the Fred Funks, Freddie Couples, they're all in their early 50s, and Kenny Perry put on a show and a half. He shot 63, 64 in the last. He was 8 shots behind going into Saturday, and he comes back and wins by 3. It was one of the best displays of golf I've ever seen. He said that the last round that he played, they asked him about it, and he said it was the best round of golf he's ever played in his career. Here's a guy 52 years old, been playing probably since he was 10.
Right.
He said this was the best round of golf I've ever played.
Sure.
I watched it from, beginning to end. It was just an unbelievable tournament. Unbelievable.
You didn't fall asleep there, no? Golf?
No, I didn't fall asleep. No.
So what's going on with baseball?
Well, Frank.
Well, the Cubs are starting to win some games. They got a winning record in the last.
They're showing
15
some
games.
life.
But they're trading off the guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to trade that one pitcher, and I can't think of his name right now.
Not Garza.
Garza.
Garza? Okay.
And they're going to still trade for young bodies.
Well, that was Epstein's thing. You knew
Right.
that. He was going to build from the farm system. He was going to do that. He was going to get rid of some decent free agents to get some good picks and build from there. He had a program. He knew that this wasn't going to be the fact that he was going to get in the playoffs in 2-3 years, which their record this year is not really that bad.
No.
I mean, compared to last year, they made a huge improvement since last year. I mean, look where the Sox
8
were.
or 9 below 500.
Right.
You
I
know,
mean, that's
which,
not that bad. And the Sox are, 37 and
They're doing awful.
they're awful, The Sox are, 37 and 56?
I got to give a credit to these Sox fans. When they're losing, the Sox fans will tell them. I mean, the Sox fans will
Right.
go. They'll say it's despicable what's going on.
Yeah.
They don't hide the fact where the Cub fans will still show up
They still show.
at the park, and
They
even
will.
though this guy's telling Epstein is telling the fans right up, you're going to lose in the beginning. We're going to lose.
Right.
That's why I give Swaim a lot of credit. Well, not credit. I don't know how he tolerates it, but I guess they feel he's the guy.
It's a process.
Yeah.
He knew that when he went to Boston, and look what he did. He got 2 championships.
Yeah.
2 World Series. And I think that Cubs fans got that in the back of their minds. They look at Boston. Boston is the Cubs.
Right.
They didn't win forever. And look what this guy did there. He turned it around, and he finally got them
Right.
to win
Well,
a
they
World Cup.
don't show
Not win
signs.
one, but win 2 World Championships. So,
Right.
And I think Cubs fans got that in the back of their mind. Now, if it goes 4 or 5 years and we don't make a
Exactly.
deep run into the
Exactly.
playoffs, they're going to be calling for heads. You know?
Right.
They'll do that. And then also with the baseball, you got Lincecum pitched a no-hitter Saturday night.
Who
Yeah.
did?
Lincecum for the San Francisco
He's
Giants.
a good one. He's a
He's a
great
good
Right.
pitcher. He's had an awful year. He won 2 Cy Youngs. This guy, they call him
Won
the
the World
Freak.
Series
Tim
last year.
Lincecum.
Yeah.
They call him the Freak because he reminds me of Oral Hershiser a lot in
Right.
his delivery, how he's over the top like
Right.
that, And
Right. He cut his hair too. by
cut
the
his
way.
hair. Yeah, he had the real long hair, hippie hair.
Like
now he's got
Samardzija.
Yeah, right.
But Samardzija actually
Right, he
copied
was like
him, right?
Samardzija. He had the long hair like that. But now he's
Great
got the
pitcher.
short hair.
Yeah,
He pitched a no-hitter, but did you see that catch that 100 Pence made in the
Yeah.
8th inning? It was a dead single. I mean, it was blooping. This guy dove in, saved the no-hitter in the 8th for him,
Yeah.
and got the first no-hitter that this guy ever had. But he's had a rough season. He was 4-9 coming into this,
Right.
but this may jumpstart him.
Yeah.
This could get him going.
Yeah.
So who the hell knows? But I watched a lot of they showed like a lot of it, and I watched it, and he had stuff like you couldn't believe. I mean,
Yeah.
the ball was dropping off the table.
Right.
I mean,
I was watching some of it too. I was watching actually when it was on Sports Center or baseball tonight.
Baseball
or
tonight,
when-
yeah. They were. That's what I was watching.
Yeah.
They showed a lot of it. They were
He
showing.
was, his pitch was dropping a foot.
Oh my God, it was unbelievable. He had stuff like I never saw.
Yeah.
Like last year, he was coming out of the bullpen when they won the World Series. This year, he's back in the starting lineup.
The one pitcher, they used to have that stuff when it was really, really working with that Bruce Sutter when he was coming in
with
with
the Cubs,
that, with that
that
fork
split
ball,
finger
split finger,
fastball.
right. I honestly believe he was doctoring the ball, the way that the ball was flopping all over the place.
Yeah, well, he could have been. But he had a good pitch. And then he went to St. Louis, remember? And Sandberg hit 2 home runs off him in
Right.
that 1 extra inning game.
Right.
Remember that?
I do remember it.
Yeah.
That's when Whitey Hazard called him the best second baseman in all in the history of baseball.
Well, you know what Sandberg did that I don't know if anybody's ever done. I don't know if he did it or just came a triple short of doing it. He hit 20 home runs, 20 doubles, 20 triples, and over 20 stolen bases.
Yeah.
I think he might have came a triple short. You know how hard that is to hit 20 triples?
Yes.
I mean...
Well, one short of a home run, right?
Right.
So
I mean,
it's hard.
That's, you know, you got to have speed.
Speed,
and, you know,
right.
and you're hitting
know
the
what you're
jams.
doing,
Yeah.
you know, hustle.
Right.
That's hard. Sandberg was a consummate ball player.
He was an unbelievable player. He was an unbelievable player. And,
Yeah.
and Ralphie Palmeiro, they got rid of him because he was Sandberg's wife.
Yeah.
He had an 18.
That was the huge
that was the thing why they got rid of Ralphie, because he was pounding Sandberg's wife.
They say Girardi was too.
Girardi too?
They say the whole team was.
Well, she's a team player.
Would you say
Yeah.
Pooch's wife?
Pooch.
And a former Elmwood Park Illinois police officer.
No, these were ball players that Sandberg's first wife was. She was a dog.
Yeah.
You know, she was.
Well, they got rid of. It shows who they wanted. They got
Right.
rid of.
Everybody.
They got
that
rid
was
of
involved.
Palmeiro. They didn't.
Well, you don't do that. You
No,
know,
that's
do that,
disrespectful.
Especially a nice guy like him.
Yeah.
Unless he was outfit, then it's different.
Frank.
So now, should we? Let's see. How about a little basketball?
Yeah,
Well,
he's got some basketball.
Dwight Howard officially signed with the Rockets.
Good for
Houston
him.
Rockets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Him, Harden.
Well, he better do
Sanity.
something quick because you know he's being touted as the guy that can carry a team, and he's
Right.
getting a lot of money.
It was $88 million over
Yeah.
4 years.
Right. And he couldn't do it in L.A.
He couldn't get along with Kobe. He wanted. He
That was
said
the,
he did an interview with Stephen A. Smith, and he said that if they would have got Phil Jackson instead of D'Antoni, that he would have stayed. He would have stayed. He would have worked out his differences with Kobe, and he would have stayed there. And
Right.
they would have been a great team. They would have
Yeah.
been pushing
Oh,
for the
yeah,
finals.
I agree.
They would have been.
I
But
agree.
it's Kobe's team, and he didn't want to. He's not used to that.
He's not going to share the ball.
He's not going to. Well, Kobe's a shooter, and they want to play an in-and-out game, and that's not what they've been doing in L.A.
Right.
Even with Gasol there, who's a great player, great center.
Right.
They still, they had him more as a post-up player.
Yeah.
But Dwight can't. He's not a post-up player. He's a force in the
You'd
inside.
think these front office guys would have some sense when they go after a guy like that, spending that kind of money.
Well, they got
the
all
chemistry.
They got all kinds of problems in L.A. because, Phil Jackson, his fiance is Jeannie Buss.
Right.
Dr. Buss, the late Dr. Buss.
She owns the team now, right?
Right. Well, her and her brother.
Yeah.
And Mitch Kupchak's the GM, and the brother, he doesn't want to. He's got an ego,
Right.
and he didn't want Phil Jackson, which is kind of weird. His sister is engaged to him,
Right.
to Phil Jackson, and he doesn't want him there. Now here's a guy got 9 rings.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's something there.
something there. 6 with the
Yeah.
Bulls, or no, what am I saying? 9, 11 rings he's got.
He's got
6 with the
11.
Bulls and 5 with the Lakers.
11, right.
11 rings,
Right.
and he's an unbelievable coach, and any player that's ever played for him has never had a bad word to say about him. I've never heard a player say that they couldn't play for him, And then they got rid of Meta World Peace, Ron Artest.
Mm-hmm.
They got rid of him, and he was a great player. He's talking about either retiring or playing in China. Here's a guy who can get a job anywhere in the NBA. I mean, he may not get the money he was getting there, but I mean, how much money do you guys need? I mean, they're making $20 million a year, so they offer you 12. Is that gonna, what? Is that one less Lamborghini in the driveway or what? I mean, I don't get it, but that's them. It's a different stratosphere of people than we know about.
Right. Oh yeah.
But it looks like Houston might be good with James Harden there.
Yeah. They got Lynn.
Jeremy Lin. They got a good nucleus of a team there.
How about the Bulls? Do you think they're going to do anything?
I think the Bulls are going to be fine. They're talking about getting rid of Nate Robinson.
Yeah.
Now that the Rose is back, they don't need Nate.
They can't
Which I
afford
feel
him.
bad for because, they dumped him. They needed him when Rose wasn't there. He played great in the playoffs. I mean, he was a dynamo.
A spark plug, right?
So he was a spark plug, is right. He was unbelievable. Double-digit scoring, Guy could jump out of the gym. Won, 2 or 3 slam dunk contests?
Right.
What is he, 5'9"?
Yeah, he's
He
small.
could jump out of the gym. Unbelievable.
He's a great
And he's got guts. He's a gutty player. I mean, I don't know if there's room for 2 guys like that on the floor, him and Rose, but I think there could be. I don't know, I'm not that great at figuring out the basketball strategy, but I think that they could keep him in there,
Yeah.
you know, but Thibodeau doesn't want him.
I guess, yeah. He didn't want him, or it might be a distraction when Rose is back. You don't know but the fans loved him, the players loved him. You know, he just, I don't understand how they think sometimes.
They did a whole lot. They did a lot better than anybody thought they would do without Rose.
Yeah, and you got to give the coach a lot.
Thibodeau's one of the best coaches
Yeah,
in the league. He's got the respect of everybody in the league,
Right.
players and coaches
Right.
alike. You know, he's a great defensive
See,
mind.
it just proves the fact. I don't care if you have 100 superstars on the team or 10. If you don't have a coach putting them together and showing them how to play together, you're going nowhere.
Going nowhere, yeah, because they'll run wild on you. You know,
Right.
they'll all be hogging it, but it'll be a one-man game with five guys on the court.
Exactly.
You know, so.
Where do we want to go to next?
Well, I think we were going to talk about football. I know there's not any football going on, but we're anticipating an exciting preseason starting next month. And then there's something, maybe some updates on our jailbird football star. What's his name?
Not too, but I guess
What's his name again?
they're announcing it later.
Aaron
Hernandez.
Yeah.
Later today, they're talking about a previous thing that he shot 2 people before.
And plus, I don't know if you touched on it last week, but they're taking back all Aaron Hernandez's jerseys and exchanging them for
whoever you
Brady, whoever, right?
No cost. No, you can bring the jersey in.
Right.
And,
so they've written him off.
They wrote him off.
Yeah.
And another player on the team, they got a DUI. And
Dillard,
yeah.
Yeah.
And just in light of everything that's going on with New England, and New England is like, you know, they're the poster team, you know, the Patriot way, all that stuff. They pride themselves on that. They got this discipline.
They had that tight end, Grabowski, what's his name?
Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski.
It's nuts.
Oh, he is. He's crazy.
Hey, you're interviewing him. He looks like
He wrote a book.
Did he?
Yeah, he wrote a book. He was at a book signing. He wrote a book.
So they were interviewing him, and they asked him, he just, you know what?
He don't want to talk about it.
Don't want to talk. He says, listen, that's their thing, and
he's great.
yeah.
And he's great.
Oh.
He's one of the best tight ends in the league.
Yeah.
But, you know, New England, I mean, you lost Wes Welker to Denver.
Right.
I mean, Hernandez is in jail.
Right.
Gronk's got that forearm thing. You don't know what he's going to be. Brady lost all his key guys. I mean, how good are they going to be? I mean, I know he's a top 2 quarterback in the top 3 in the league, but how good is he going to be without anybody to throw to?
Man.
Of course, he makes guys good. I mean,
He does.
Who the hell?
But he's getting older, too. And
Yeah.
it just gets a little tougher and tougher.
I mean, who heard of Wes Walker until Brady was around? You know,
Right.
he makes these guys good. You
Better
know,
players.
but we'll see. And the Bears, you know, they got mini camp coming up. You know, we'll see.
All Cutler. If Cutler, either he's going to turn into something special like they all thought, or
I think he's good. I think he's got a lot of balls. I think he's a good player. Got a good arm. I just think he needs a line. If they do something with the line, I think they've made some adjustments. I think
they brought in some people.
They brought in some people. I mean, this guy was getting, you know, you can't get being hit 11 times, 12 times in a game, getting sacks. It just takes its toll on you, you know, and you lose your confidence, and now you start rushing the ball and stuff. If they give him some time, Cutler's a good quarterback.
Right.
You know, he's not the top 10 in the league. Well, maybe he is. He could. I mean, who knows? You know, Brandon Marshall, that's his guy. You know, he throws to him. He likes, you know, he's very comfortable with him. And if he gets the time to throw, he'll usually find. He's got a gun for an arm. I mean, he can throw the ball, you know, a mile. Just got to see if he can just get the time to do it. You know, you just can't sit there and be running. He's got to stay on his feet. You know, he can't be getting off his back even after a good throw. You know.
Right. But the thing that'll be exposed this year with the Bears is the defense. So you know, we'll see what happens. I like the coach, you know, from what I've seen and what I've heard, but we'll see what happens during the year. There's just Green Bay looks tough in the division. Detroit might come back. Minnesota's got some moves they made, so it's going to be interesting.
Detroit's got the best wide receiver in the league.
Right.
Megatron.
Very good quarterback.
Good quarterback, Stafford.
Stanford. Well, we'll see. We'll have time to talk about them. You know, it's still summer.
Well, sounds like we covered our bi-weekly, our first bi-weekly portion of this week.
It was kind of a little slow, other than the golf and
yeah, it's a slow time of year. It's baseball and dog days.
Yeah, right. Not too much going on.
Right. This week here will be, you know, you got the British Open this week. That'll be, I'll be very interested in that. See what happens. See if Tiger could, you know, finally capture that elusive major that he hasn't gotten in the last 5 years to get himself on the way to Jack Nicklaus's record.
Right.
We'll see what happens out there.
Gonna be interesting.
It'll be very interesting.
Okay, well, for our audience out there, know that our sports piece has ended. We will be back with our second part of our bi-weekly sports podcast on Thursday, July 18th. Those of you who want to stick around, we're going to do our behind-the-scenes segment where we'll have some interesting conversation. And we might as well start that at this point.
I wanted to discuss
the Florida stuff with this.
Zimmerman.
Zimmerman, that sounds like an interesting topic.
Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin.
It was a huge controversial decision made yesterday.
Was he was charged with just second-degree murder? It wasn't first-degree, right?
I think it was, the jury could decide, second-degree murder or manslaughter. Is that correct?
Yeah. First-degree was never on the table.
If my memory serves me correct, I would say you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're saying that the media did not get a hold of a lot of the stuff that went on in court, so we really don't know.
Yeah, but just from what we know, maybe maybe a listener will tell us down the road if we're wrong.
Right.
This guy was cutting through a gated community, I guess.
Yes.
Zimmerman's a security guard.
Right. One of those watch guys.
Not a security guy. Watch, right.
Right.
Neighborhood watch.
Neighborhood watch.
He asked Trayvon to stop.
He didn't.
He didn't. This guy called in the police. Police told him to back off.
Told Zimmerman to back off.
Told Zimmerman to back off. We'll be on it. We'll come on the scene.
We'll take care of it.
We'll see what's going on. Zimmerman pursued Trayvon.
Right.
Trayvon was around his own house.
Right. He was heading home.
Zimmerman pursued him, kept pursuing him, even though he was told not to.
Right.
By an exchange of words, I assume, took place.
Correct.
Now, Trayvon's not here to say what his opinion was, but we're just seeing what witnesses and Zimmerman saying.
Well, didn't he make a phone call to a girl?
Yeah, a girl told
Trayvon
him.
did.
Yeah.
And it says on the phone call, I guess, alludes to the fact that he was in trouble.
Yeah.
Trayvon was.
Right.
But then they turned it around and said that Trayvon was on top of him banging Zimmerman's head.
Right.
But who knows how that...
Oh, yeah, right. Without
if there's an altercation, what's he supposed
right.
to do? Get his brains beat in?
Right.
If Zimmerman attacked him,
right.
And he's the one with the gun.
In my opinion, there's no reason to use deadly force like that.
No, I thought it was...
To shoot the
I don't
young man.
blame the...
Wait, listen to me. The guy could be... Whatever he is, and whatever they're accusing him of being. This, to me, was my opinion now. I mean,
right.
Naturally, a lot of people think Zimmerman was in the right. I don't. You just excelled, elevated what a fight's for.
He's a wannabe cop.
Yeah.
He's a wannabe cop. He's carrying a gun, and he's following a black kid who's wearing a hoodie. He's social profiling him to think that he's a gangbanger of some sort.
Right.
And the kid, everything that they ever brought up about him, he's never been in any trouble.
Right.
There was nothing to indicate that this guy
was... He was going to the store to get Skittles.
Right, get Skittles, right.
I mean, and Zimmerman, everything points to the fact this guy wanted to be a copper in the worst way, or a wannabe copper, and he wanted to use that gun.
Right.
I mean, that's my opinion. He shot him. It was an unfortunate thing. Something should have been done to Zimmerman.
Right. I don't agree with the verdict.
I think it's a bit of a stretch, though, Frank, for you to say that this former defendant, who is now freed and no longer a defendant, but this former defendant, this person, you say was, in your words, wanted to be a cop,
right,
and wanted to shoot a gun,
right. Well, you know what? This is what my...
Well, wait, I know you want to bring someone in on it, but let's get to that in a minute. But thank you. We'll get to that in a second. Let me finish my thought. Here's a guy that you claim wanted to be a cop and wanted to shoot a gun.
Right.
If that were true, how does that in itself say that this the person is a murderer just because he wanted to be a cop and wanted to shoot a gun, how does that equate to this person being a confirmed murderer? Especially now that the jury has decided that he isn't.
He's not trained to be a cop. He's not trained to pursue somebody with an arrest. That's why the policeman should step back.
And are these facts that came out in the trial?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
I don't know. I didn't follow it, so I'm asking you the question.
And then we don't know what provoked the confrontation. As far as I know, did Zimmerman grab him? Did he touch him?
But now, if someone, expanding on the first 2 points you made, we'll throw in what you've also brought up. According to you and Michael, I heard Michael say yes. When I asked, were these facts that came out at trial that this man was not trained to be an officer, not trained to handle a gun, you both say that yes, that is in
true.
fact. Okay. So now we have a man, let's just do a better job at describing him. We have a man who is a grassroots kind of guy in this field. It does not know, has not been trained to be a police officer.
Absolutely.
But he wants to be a police officer. He's an aspiring police officer.
I assume.
We could call him that.
Right.
Okay, an aspiring police officer that you claim wanted to shoot a gun, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that if it's done appropriately and for valid reasons, lawfully. I still don't see how that equates to a person that we should believe is a murderer, especially in the wake of the jury coming back with a not guilty on it.
Well, nobody's saying he's a murderer. You know, he didn't premeditate this, but he was charged with second-degree murder, which is just
there's complaints. There are complaints in this conversation that this man was not convicted, and one of the charges was second-degree murder. So that's why I'm referring to using the word murderer. You're not happy that, Frank, I'll specifically ask you, you're not happy that this man is not a convicted murderer right now of second-degree murder. You're upset about that, and your argument is that this aspiring police officer, aspiring meaning rookie, not even rookie, less than a rookie, no experience, a man who is aspiring to be a police officer, who may or may not want to shoot a gun, but we'll say may want to shoot a gun.
Wasn't dressed in any kind of security uniform, any kind of
I don't know what the relevance of that is at all.
A guy comes up with a cut-off T-shirt on, a shaved head, and a beard.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the look alone.
And has a gun on him?
Yeah.
He's more suspect to be than Trayvon Martin.
Okay, but
if a guy
from what I understand, the law in Florida is a citizen in Florida has the right to shoot to kill if he or she believes that their life is in jeopardy, if their life is at risk. Correct?
Correct.
Is that what I heard? Is that okay? Now, I would assume that this man has proven to the jury, one way or the other, or his attorneys, for that matter, have established enough for the jury to conclude that this man was probably in that frame of mind where he feared for his life.
He didn't prove nothing to me. He must have proved that
you're nothing. You're irrelevant. You're not
asked my opinion, so I'm telling you my opinion. When someone walks away from you,
yes,
that's not a threat to you to be murdered. I mean, bodily harm or anything. Trayvon Martin was walking away from him. So where was the threat?
Zimmerman engaged
him.
He engaged him.
Where is the threat of bodily harm or murder, or your life is in danger when the person you're asking to stop is walking away from you, and you pursue it?
Right to see it, asking
if you're a trained...
Where the boy who was shot to death, where do we know where the bullets... I don't know much about this at all, so forgive me.
I don't either. I think you shot him in the head.
But you don't know where the points of
I don't
so none of us even know. We're making arguments now. We don't even...
I don't even know where he shot him.
Why don't we agree on this? For our next behind the scenes, let's all of us do a little more homework and brush up on what the heck happened and see if things, in our opinion, change.
We're telling you exactly what. That's why I'm saying the media. I'm telling you what they
gave
told
out. Right.
They haven't relinquished any of this.
Yeah.
They have never once said word.
Right?
Yeah, they never said that he was shot in the head, shot in the chest. They never said that.
So you're saying that could it be possible that it wasn't even released to the jury?
They're saying a lot of stuff they're saying a lot of stuff was released to the jury,
Okay.
but stuff that we didn't get.
Okay, so then the jury probably has the right information that we don't have, and then that's why we don't understand.
Well, of course, juries never make a mistake. We know that, right?
Well, I never said that. Now you're putting words in my mouth, but
no, I'm just saying that.
We don't know what the jury knows, so it's very weak. We make a very weak argument if we want to make the argument that the jury did something wrong when we don't know what the heck they know.
Well, the only thing I wanted to say about it is that in the sports community, there's been an awful lot of reaction to it.
Yes.
About on the defense of Trayvon Martin, which obviously you could see. A lot of these guys that are professional athletes, they got kids,
Yes.
and these guys have kids when they're, 17 years old, so they're in their mid-30s, and in their professional careers, they got a kid 16 years old, 15 years old. And the outcry of sympathy for the Trayvon Martin family is just overwhelming.
Yes.
In all the sports.
And I sympathize with the family and every
absolutely.
family who loses a
Absolutely.
loved one to
Well,
violence.
that's my interest in it. If it was my son.
And it's
my
not,
son
thank
was,
God it isn't.
I try to tell my son, if a policeman taught, listen to the policeman. But when a guy like this, Zimmerman, is not even identified as a policeman, is telling him to stop, and this happened to my son, I'd be devastated. It shouldn't happen.
And you have every right to be devastated. It still doesn't mean that this person has committed murder.
Just in my feeble
I believe
opinion
he
of all
does.
this, I believe that this guy was looking for this for a long time. Looking for an excuse to do what he did. It just seems that way to me. That's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong.
And we both, you both have admitted that you don't know everything that the jury knew.
No, and nobody does. It's not just us.
Okay.
Nobody does.
Just from face
Right. But
value of the whole media attention that was given, just from what you listen on the news and what I've seen and what was presented at trial, I cannot believe they let this guy go scot-free.
And did you watch every minute of the trial?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't available every
Yeah,
minute.
right.
Okay,
Not
yeah,
even that.
all right.
Right. That's
It
part
wasn't
of it.
available, so you really you don't have an informed opinion.
I actually was out on Saturday night and saw it on TV, and I thought it was at like 10:30 at night.
Right.
And I was just out, having a sandwich, and I'm looking and I'm saying, did this happen yesterday? And this is the news?
Yes.
And, and I couldn't believe it, but I guess the minute the jury comes in, no matter what time of day it is, they
I believe they pushed it to be on Saturday, so Sunday there
kind of
would
a
be
down day.
Down day. People are in church.
They're not going to go nuts.
A lot of people are in church.
Well,
so
you'll see today what happens out there. Like
Yeah.
at the 5 o'clock news, you'll see if there's any kind of ramifications.
Well, they've said there was a big a peaceful protest downtown, 400 people.
Jackson was on this morning on Channel 9 News. He was, expressing his.
Well, it's the centerpiece
His
of the news,
disbelief in it.
I'll tell you that.
It is, it really is. It's gonna. This is a big one. This is nationwide. When you got the president commenting on this,
Well, he should.
Yeah.
Well, this president, who I respect completely, I think, hasn't he been known to comment on things once in a while that maybe the president shouldn't be commenting on?
Yeah.
But I don't knock him for it. It obviously was an emotional
Well, he
thing for him.
he actually backed up the system. He just said this is, we live by the law.
Just like the O.J. trial, they keep
And the
saying,
jury,
well, you know what? O.J. was not guilty in his trial. We're supposed to accept that. And that's, you will go on with your life.
Right.
But in his case, he did defend Trayvon.
Right.
In the beginning.
At
least he stood up and said
He
that.
stood up, but then he went back. He kind of
because
doubled
he didn't
back.
want to cause
And
any
he said
kind
that,
of...
this is, America's made of
Right.
laws, and the law,
Right.
he was found not guilty of the
And that's
jury.
it.
And that's it.
Right.
And frankly, I think that the guy should probably keep a very low profile for a while until some of the tensions.
Oh my God!
go
His
down.
life is just as other than being dead, he's got a bad life right now. I mean, he's on the par with Casey Anthony.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, I mean,
in
he's
Florida.
in Florida, right?
Florida's an interesting place lately.
Yeah,
For
I'm
cases
gonna stop vacationing. there.
becoming like California used to be with when all the O.J. got off, and who was the other one that songwriter?
Spector?
Yes.
How about Robert
Blake?
Blake? How about Robert Blake?
Right.
Yeah.
Robert Blake says so he went to go get his gun and
Yeah.
somebody shot his girlfriend.
Sure.
Yeah. But he's Italian.
There's another case in Illinois that someone told me about recently, and it's not a brand new case. I think it was from last fall. An Italian-American resident out in Highwood who owned a restaurant in Highland Park. I believe his name was Giacomo Rugrillo. I may be pronouncing the last name incorrect. R as in Ronald, U, double G as in George, IRELLO. Do either of you know anything about that?
No,
I don't.
I don't.
From what little I know about it, this person was said to have been a gambler who may have been into the outfit for money. I find it a little, I don't know, doubtful personally based on my enormous amount of knowledge in these areas. So, but I was just wondering if either of you heard anything about it.
No.
I did not.
Maybe our audience out there who could know something, or who may know something about this story with this restaurant owner who owned a place in Highland Park, an Italian restaurant. You could Google his name for all the information. Again, he's Giacomo, that's G as in George, IACOMO, last name Rugrillo. I may have pronounced that. I may have mispronounced it, and that's R as in Ronald, U, double G, IRELLO. I guess we're really nothing to talk about there since we know almost nothing about it. Do you want to call your
I want his opinion on
relative?
the Zimmerman trial.
Maybe you could ask him about this too, or, I don't know. So, anything, while, Frank, you're holding your head like you're ready to die or
Yeah.
something. Well, I'm going to start pulling the number up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the Zimmerman thing is you go on Facebook, it's exploding off the board there.
Right.
You have,
Well, there's overwhelming support for the family, obviously.
yeah, but you go on these boards and there's a lot of, it is causing a divide. I mean, a lot of the whites are saying, not a lot, but, Tehran's got a lot of, me and you are, you're Italian, I'm Italian. We're for, we think it's wrong.
Yeah, I do. I definitely
we
do.
support it, but there's a lot of people on Facebook, a lot of people giving opinions that Zimmerman was in the right. But what do you escalate a fight? To a gunshot? Not you shoot somebody over a fight. You're fighting.
I mean, here's a guy out taking a stroll at night. He's got a pistol with him. What are you looking for? Are you hunting?
Okay, I think. Hi, we're doing a sports podcast show right now, doing the recording, and Mr. Frank is looking for his uncle.
Pete?
Is he there available right now?
Just a minute.
Sure.
No.
Thank you for calling. Please be assured that your call will be answered as quickly as possible. This is Sherry. May I help you?
Yeah, we're looking for Pete DeFranza. We're doing our radio broadcast with Magnafichi.
Who's this?
Frank Coconate. We're doing our radio podcast.
Recording.
Okay.
And we're trying to get Pete's opinion
And,
on...
hold it.
Wait, what?
Don't be calling him up.
Well, you're going to stop me now again?
No.
You're going to stop it again?
Turn that off.
No. Pete, can we speak to Pete? We want his opinion on this.
Frank. This is a sports podcast, not this.
We can't get Pete DeFranza, Johnny's brother's opinion of this?
No. Forget about their opinion about anything. This is not...
Hello?
Hello?
Are you still there?
Is Pete coming to the phone, or?
Never mind.
No, I'm not getting him to the phone. This is stupid.
Yeah, wait.
Hang up the
we
phone.
want to get your opinion.
Just hang up the phone.
Of the zip.
Just hang up the phone.
All right, well, Sherry hung up. Now, that's his stepdaughter, I believe, Joe.
He answers the phone over at D&P Construction, which is controlled by Johnny DeFranzo.
Well,
The boss.
Frank,
Michael
sports
has
podcast.
asked you nicely last time.
Mike, let's not, get in. I didn't put your name on this.
I put my name onto a sports podcast. Now you got me stuttering. because this is not what I wanted to do. Leave these people alone. They have done nothing. This has nothing to do with sports, and you want to agitate these people to no end. Leave them the fuck out of everything.
I respect their opinion,
then go over there and ask them.
I don't think they'll let me in the gate.
Well,
I don't think they'll let me in the gate. Joe, what do you think of that?
To our audience out there, we'll see you on July you'll hear from us on July the 18th. Things are, I've got to walk away from the Frank and Michael right now, and you'll hear from us on Thursday. Thank you.